Well, how you doing, Fluffy? You doing okay? Did you survive this week? Yeah, I know. It's been rather rough, huh? One thing after another. There's a song like that. One thing after another. It's the only part I remember of it. But hey, I got you some treats, okay? Here, let me give you a few until the rest show up, okay? Come here. Here's you just a few to snack on. There you go. We'll get out some more. Hey, say thank you to your friends and family. They're the ones that keep fixing you up. Look how big you are. You got your big winter coat on. Yeah, that's why we call him Fluffy. He is the Fluffy Muffin. And boy, has it been a week. So yeah, it's been what, 5 days since I talked to y'all, friends and family? Yep, it has. We saw record cold temperatures of 22 degrees here. And before that came, we had to do some work on the old house. And that took some time too. Of course, you remember when the faucet blew up? Oh yeah. But today, 78 degrees. A clear blue sky. Not a cloud to be seen. And bright sunshine. And that's the way it's going to be. Off and on the next 10 days, they say. You can't beat that going into Thanksgiving. I hope you're seeing this kind of weather wherever you are. And I hope you survived the latest Arctic blast. Well, let's talk about the week and where I've been, okay? You're such a pretty boy, aren't you? Spooky over lounging in the sun. Yeah, I think Cleo's all gallivanting somewhere, huh? But you're right here with Papa. I love you too. You're such a gorgeous kitty, aren't you? Yes, you are. You just love to be loved, don't you? Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, Papa loves you too. Okay? Hey, maybe our friends and family will show up. You can say hi to them too. Okay? You my Fluffy. I love you so. You love me too. Oh, well, hello there, friends and family. So good to see you again after a little short stay away. But the old man's been busy. If you got a minute to sit down and chat, we'll do that. So, pull up your chair, grab a cold drink and a snack. Let's talk about how my week's been, okay? So yeah, on the last episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood, y'all saw the remnants of what happened when the faucet in the kitchen blew up. Yeah. And I went ahead and ordered some parts off Amazon. They were supposed to be here on Monday before noon. Well, that didn't happen. And we'll get a little bit more into that. But since that didn't happen, and I've got the hot water shut off to the house. You know, we got cold, but no hot. In the entire house, just not the kitchen. But that's why I had to shut it off, because the valves underneath the sink, and this is something you might want to check. See if you got valves under your sink and underneath your lavatory sinks, and see if they'll turn anymore. You see, I put in 2 new valves underneath that kitchen sink when I replumbed the kitchen sink and put in that new faucet, 17, 18 years ago. Got it all done. I opened up the valves. You know, I never touched it until the faucet blew up. And they wouldn't cut off. They were froze up. So the only other choice that I had was to go to the valve that cuts off the whole hot water to the whole house. So that meant, you know, if I wanted to take a nice hot bath or shower, that was out of the question. Now, yeah, could have got a big pot out, boiled water, toted it into the bathtub, did all that. But luckily, I'm prepared. Plenty of wet wipes, yeah. And of course, the bathroom sink, where I could, you know, lather up a cloth, wash off my face, my neck, and under the pitch, you know the deal. And that's just what we did. So while I was waiting on the parts, I've been having an issue with Alice's tires. They keep going low. In fact, one day last week, I aired them all up. I think it was Thursday or Friday. You know, I try to do that every fall before winter. Check all the air in the tires. You know, you check your oil, your antifreeze. I put on a pair of new wiper blades, you know, that kind of stuff. Get the car ready. Just in case we need to. Just in case it snows. You never know. And check it out because we were going to be so cold. 22. I mean, that is darn cold for this far in the deep south. So I got all the tires all aired up. I'll get back to the faucet and that living tragedy in a minute. And got everything checked out. Alice was just fine. So I went on, you know, do different things. You know, just basic chores. And then Monday, the parts didn't show up like I said. Well, I went to run down to Buddy's, the convenience store, and I noticed the tires on Alice were all low. All four. And I just aired up all four. I used the tire gauge and knew they were all right at 30, just like they said, but you could visibly see they were all low. So I got out my tire gauge, went and got my compressor, which is rather heavy, lug it all around again, and I checked them, and they were down to like 15, 18 pounds of pressure. I thought, well, that's strange. The tires look just like brand new. So I aired them all up again, screwed the caps on nice and tight, went to Buddy's, went over to True Value just to see if they had the parts that I needed for my faucet, or see what a good brass faucet like that one would cost, plus 2 new valves, new hoses, all that thing. Well, the parts were supposed to be here on Tuesday, and I went over and priced everything out, and it was going to be really pricey. So I said, no, I can wait another day. Drove back, came in the house, and Amazon had said they'd be here on Tuesday. Well, as luck would have it, you know, Tuesday was Veterans Day. The post office took off, and that's just fine if you don't need parts for your faucet. So you can cut back on the hot water and enjoy that warm bath or shower that now, after 2 days, I was probably needing. But hey, it's just me here and the kitty crew. So who cares? And this gets back to why you haven't seen me, because getting to be, you know, a little scruffy by then. And anyway, Tuesday comes around. Of course, parts aren't going to be there. So, the show delayed at the Montgomery Processing Center. Who knew? So the parts are going to be here Wednesday by 12. Okay. And, no, they didn't get here by 12. They got here by 6:45. Well, meanwhile, back to those tires. Yeah, they'd gone low again. Because I was going to run out and pick up some Milo's iced tea. I know, shouldn't do it, but every once in a while, a glass of Milo's will get you through the hardest of times. Yes, they will. And I noticed, yep, you guessed it, the tires were all low again. Now this has done got strange and weird, and maybe you've had this happen before. Now remember, this all started when I aired up the tires the week before. Now I've always had one that gets a little low this time of year. When the temperatures fall, that little thing on your dash that says low tire pressure will come on. Yeah, that thing. But the rest would be just fine. Just had one, left front. You air it up a little bit, off you go. But here they were all low again, same pressure, and I thought, you know, somebody's screwing with me. You know, that's what you want to think of right off the get-go. But I know, no, I mean, who's going to do that? take off all 4 caps, lower the tire pressure, put them all back on. Plus, they were tight. Well, I got to thinking as I was sitting there laying in the dirt and the leaves. Once upon a time, I had this problem a long, long time ago. I'm talking way back in the 70s, or maybe it was the early 80s. You know, when you get this old, you don't really remember what year it was. And what it was then, I'd bought me some of them new valve stem caps, you know, the chrome ones. And this was on a 65, no, it was 66, my 66 Mustang Fastback. 2+2, 289 high performance. Oh yeah. She was a sharp car, white with a red interior. Oh man, and would she go? Wish I'd still had her too. But that's another story. And when I bought those chrome caps and put them on my, tires and my mag wheels, those wide tires that we used to have back then in the 70s. You remember that? You had 60 series tires, 70 series. Oh man, you weren't nothing unless you had them on your muscle car. And over time, all 4 tires on that Mustang would go low. And it perplexed me for a while too. And I finally realized they started going low when I put those new caps on. Yeah. So I aired them all up again, left the caps off, and they were just fine. So I had to go get some new valve stem caps, is what I'm getting to. And as luck would be, here with Alice, I went ahead, aired all the tires up again, except this time, I didn't screw the valve stem caps on real tight. I left them just a tad loose. And lo and behold, her tires are all right. So if that ever happens to you, remember, check your valve stem caps. Or maybe some debris got in them. I've had that happen too, a little pebble or what have you. And you lay it in the dirt, put it back on, you got a tire consistently going low. But that's what I dealt with, along with waiting on my parts. And I had to get the house all closed up. And I spent some time on that, Sunday and Monday, well, considerable amount of time, closing up all the crawl space, putting freeze protection on my outdoor pipes, making sure they were all done up, getting the kitty cruise shelter all cleaned up, and putting their heat pad in there so they'd have a nice warm place to go when the temperatures dropped. Now they're all fixed up too. Spent time on that. And then it just gets to be where you lose track of what day it is. But then the parts finally arrived for the faucet. Oh yeah. And I was so glad. I thought 10 minutes, I'll have those slapped in. And this was Wednesday night. Guess what? Nothing takes 10 minutes. Oh God. I put in the new cartridge. Well, I had to put it in the spring first, finally get that down the little hole. Then you put on, like I showed you, the little seat. Then you put on the cartridge. And then you screw the retainer nut down. Well, the set came with 2 types of cartridges and 2 types of nuts. And wouldn't you know, I put the wrong ones in my very first go. I was so excited, got my handle screwed back on, went in, turned the water on at the hot water heater. It finally got to the sink. And yeah, a little bit of it was running out, the spigot. The rest was running out from underneath the faucet knob, Yeah, creating another mess when I walked back in. And I thought, oh man, it's just so easy. So went back in, shut the water off. Got my old parts, looked at the parts I put in, and sure, I put the wrong ones in. So I put the right ones in. Did it all back again. This time, no leaking at the knob, but hardly anything was coming out. And what was all rusty and muddy. And that didn't make no sense. It will in a minute, though. Because I live in a special place. And this is something you need to check on if you ever buy a house. You see, I live on the end of the water line for this street. There's nothing past me. So it's capped right after my meter. Yep. So when the city shuts the water down for a repair in the neighborhood, or when they're flushing out the fire hydrants, which they do monthly, that can go wrong. And it's gone wrong before. They'll open that hydrant up, flush out the system for whatever reason they do that. And if they turn that hydrant back off real quick, yeah, the pressure slugs this house. And it breaks all the crud loose in the pipe. Because we've got cast iron pipes. And when the water doesn't flow a while, you know, like when they're doing all that, or repairing the main in the street, which has got 2 breaks in it that they constantly out here redoing, when they turn it on, all that crud comes up the line and comes in my house every time. And it causes a pressure. You know, sometimes I think the water tank heater is going to blow up. And then you open the faucets and there'll be that, you know, just blasting of air, everything rattling. Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. Always check on that before you buy a house. Never be on the end of a water run. No. Power, fine. I guess sewer, fine, because I'm on that too, the end of the sewer pipe. But water, no. Just go find another house. So that puts a lot of pressure on your faucets, on your hot water heater, and that may have well led up to the premature failure of the kitchen faucet. Who knows? I'm sure they wouldn't admit it, even if I asked. So after I put all the new cartridge in, got all that fixed, now I had some water, a trickle. So I thought, now what do I do? I said, well, that's fine for Wednesday night. I'm just going to wash up, brush my teeth, and I'm going to lay down. And all the reason during the week, there's a lot of other, you know, itty-bitty stuff going on. Camera problems, computer problems, because Windows 10 has went away. And, of course, the computer world wants you to buy a new computer. It's been too long. And that's why they changed up the software. I mean, it looks the same to me. So I'm having issues with the computer, with the changeover from Windows 10 to 11, which I need that to upload videos. And then the camera wants to freak out. Bad memory card. So I had to get one of them. You see where this week's been going? Yeah. But back to the water. Till I know you want to know. Well, I took it all back apart. And I thought, well, I'll flush it out. So I went and got me a hose. Put over where, you know, the cartridge goes in. Put that down in the drain. I ran into the utility room, turned the water on, came back, made sure the hose didn't blow off. And I had to flush out that whole kitchen line and everything, because apparently when that water surged into the water tank, it broke off some crud, or crud come through, or what have you, and plugged up the hole on the hot water side of the faucet. Had to do that 3 times before it finally, whatever was in there, broke free and come through. Yeah, I flushed it, put it all back together, tried it, no good. Repeated 3 times until finally. Now I'm going to tell you the truth. I was sitting there with my head bowed. This is now late Thursday afternoon. And I said, you know, Father God, if you can do some plumbing, I could sure use the help. And I was sitting there with my head hung, thinking, well, I guess I'll just go buy another faucet. What the hey. But I tried it, turned it on one more time, and hey, it was okay. I'll take all the help I can get, let me tell you. I was so proud, I couldn't stand it. By then, it's nearly 7:30 in the evening yesterday. Oh yeah, that's when we got hot water back on the house. Yeah. So there, but I mean, now I know. And I know I've got to replace that hot water tank. I was talking to my son about that today. He just replaced it. His mother's up where he's at now. And everything, and he's trying to recover from that. I almost told him, well, you can come down now and help me replace mine. But we'll hold that off too for a while. But I wanted to get on here today, tell you how everything went and where I've been and what I've been up to. And there's all kinds of other things. I think I picked up somehow got bronchitis. I was out here working in the cold off and on those 2 days. You got, snuffy nose, throat gets all clogged up, you just can't seem to clear it. Yeah, that's been a thing too. Just makes it all the more better. But it reminds me of a parable. I think we all know it. And that's what old Job went through. And this past week, I got a little taste of it, even though a lot milder. And he suffered and survived through. And that's my point to all this, sharing it with you. No matter what comes your way, if you've got the determination and the tenacity to keep going on, put in the effort, put in the time. And like they say, never give up and never surrender until you die. And that won't be this day. And you'll get through it and you'll get it done. That's my message to all of you today. So yeah, now we can get back to doing normal things and taking you all along too for continuing adventures of Mr. Tom in Mr. Tom's neighborhood. Yeah, I hope this all finds you well, safe and happy and warm wherever you may be. Let me show you a couple of my friends that have been sitting out here with me, if they'll stay there and be still. Of course, there's Mr. Fluffy Muffin, chilling out at my feet. See how he raises up his paw? And what I wanted to show you, you see that mockingbird way out there on the street? Well, while we were sitting here talking, was right over on that root from that old oak tree. Yes, he was. And you might have seen the cracked acorns on the front porch near the communal food plate. Yeah. Now we got squirrels eating the kitty food, along with the possums, along with the mockingbirds, and who knows what else. Yeah, we get them all. And I'm so proud and happy. You got to take care of God's little creatures, as many as you can. So yeah, you might say it's a weekly update, all in one video. And I'm going to show you what pure joy and satisfaction can be with just a simple thing at the end before I leave you. So, until I see you on that next episode of Mr. Tom's Neighborhood, y'all take care. Stay safe out there. And stay warm. May God bless you all as you bless those in your lives. We love you for stopping by and everything you do to make our life better too. And now, we must say goodbye.